First Impressions of Earth is the third studio album by the American indie rock band The Strokes. It was released in January 2006, having been preceded by lead single Juicebox some weeks earlier. It is also the first album by The Strokes to have a Parental Advisory Label. Recording: the album was recorded over a 10-month period. The Strokes initially set out to record it with Gordon Raphael, the producer of their first two albums. Later on, guitarist Albert Hammond, Jr. introduced them to Grammy Award-winning producer David Kahn, who stepped in to collaborate with Raphael. However, the collaboration was not working out and so Raphael stepped down. As a result, the majority of the album was produced by Kahn. Track listing: all songs written by Julian Casablancas, except where noted. Reception: critical. The album has a score of 69 out of 100 from Metacritic based on 38 reviews indicating generally favorable reviews. Some of the reviews were among the harshest The Strokes had received up to this point in the band's recording career. For instance, Heather Phares of AllMusic called the album The Strokes' weakest album yet. At the same time, the album also received positive reviews from the likes of Will Hermes of Entertainment Weekly, who praised the album and thought it was a marked improvement over the Strokes' previous album Room on Fire. In his consumer guide, Robert Christgau gave the album a 3-star honorable mention while picking out two songs from the album and stating, "You know how it is, the gym does more for your wind than for your jump shot." Even more reviews were positive. Play Louder gave it 4.5 stars out of 5 and said, "Turns out what the world was waiting for really was those that saved guitars finally making a record that truly reaped the rewards of their efforts." punnews.org gave it a score of 3.5 stars out of 5 and said, "What exactly it is the Strokes ultimately hope to achieve with their music remains to be seen. However, so long as they continue to put out quality discs with high replay value, they will remain that rare breed of band where hype did not spoil the goods." Music OMH gave it a score of 3.5 stars out of 5 and stated, "For the first 6 songs, the whole thing is as exhilarating as Is This It? It's in a different way, undoubtedly, but there's the same giddy rush of excitement." Stylus magazine gave it a bar and called it the first pretty good album of the year. Tiny Mixtapes also gave the album a score of 3.5 stars out of 5 and said, "There is indeed more good than bad. Unfortunately, there is also more bad than there should be." Some of the reviews are mixed or negative. Drowned in Sound gave it a score of 6 out of 10 and stated, "Cast away the politics and the last 20 minutes and you'll still be left with 2 or 3 top tunes to add to your daily playlists, but it was never going to be groundbreaking or innovative." Uncut gave it 3 stars out of 5 and said, "The ambitions hampered by Julian Casablancas' sad sack singing." Paste also gave it a score of 6 out of 10 and stated, "By the time they're through brandishing quotations, the Strokes don't have much of their own to say here." Slant magazine gave it 2.5 stars out of 5 and said it introduces some subtle new colors to the band's musical palette. But the pervasive sense of inert boredom, which has been noted as a strength in the past, is difficult to shake. Pop Matters gave it a score of 5 stars out of 10 and said, "While it might be easy to point to the industry guy behind the boards, the album speaks for itself, and the Strokes managed to write a flop all by themselves." Heart in a Cage was the album's second single, followed by You Only Live Once. NME rated First Impressions of Earth at number 8 in its Albums of the Year 2006 list. Commercial: First Impressions of Earth entered the UK album chart at number 1, the Strokes' first one at the top spot. The album peaked at number 4 in the US, with an entry sales week of 88,000 units, somewhat below the performance of its predecessors. In Canada, the album debuted at number 3, selling just under 10,000 copies. As of October 2006, the album has sold 271,000 units in the US, falling short of gold certification. Although the album was the band's first release to reach number 1 on any chart worldwide, it is the only one not to reach UK platinum status, and spent much less time on the charts than the previous albums. However, it has still achieved gold sales in Australia and silver sales in the UK as of 2012. Chart performance, singles, personnel, design, Piero Fornasetti, disc artwork, Liv Harquint, cover art, Gar 1/4 Entelia Fruitrunk, rear cover art, James Belsini, album designed for Love Police, Dan Winters, photography, artwork. The following artworks appear in the 32-page booklet included with the deluxe version of the album. References. External links: First Impressions of Earth at Last FM.